Hey everyone, so you're thinking of moving to Rochester, New York? Well, maybe you already live here and you're just thinking, well, maybe I should move to the other side of town. Well, you are definitely in the right spot because today's video, I'm going to go over 5 pros, 5 cons of living in and around Rochester, real talk, and some tips you won't even see on Google. And also stick around to the end because I'm going to share with you something hidden beneath Rochester that even the locals don't know about. So if you're trying to see if this city fits your lifestyle, hit that like button, subscribe, tap that notification bell, and learn the latest market trends in and around the Rochester, New York area. Hi everybody, I'm Kristen Delves. I'm a local real estate agent here in Rochester, and let me tell you, there is so much to love about this city. If this is your first time to my channel, I get calls every day from people just like you who are looking to make the move here. Whether it's 3 days, 3 months, or 3 years, give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email, and that way I can help you find your Rochester, New York lifestyle. So let's dive in. So pro number 1 is the affordability of Rochester. Let's start with that one because it gets everybody moving. Rochester is super affordable. If you think about it, compared to a lot of the East Coast cities, at least the bigger ones, Boston, New Jersey, New York City, those are all super, super expensive to live in. I recently had a client who moved from New Jersey to Rochester, and she had this tiny little 1-bedroom apartment that was $2,200 a month. Now she owns this gorgeous colonial in Brighton, New York, updated kitchen, updated bath, and a yard. And the thing is she got that all for less than what she paid in rent. Now that's what I'm talking about. It's not just housing either. It's groceries, gas, healthcare. It's all more affordable and doable. This is why during the pandemic, Rochester had an overabundance of people that were moving here and working remotely because they could do it and they could afford it. In 2024, the housing market, our city was recognized as one of the top performing and hottest metro areas, particularly for first-time home buyers. Crazy, right? Little old Rochester. So let me ask you this. What's the cost of living where you are living now, and could you see yourself affording a house here in Rochester? I would love to know your comments. Shoot a comment below. Okay, let's talk about number 2, healthcare and schools. I work with a lot of families, and this is one of the first things they ask about is schools and healthcare. Where are the schools? What are they like? Are they good? Are they bad? And the answer to that is we have some awesome schools, but you can check for yourself, and that would be on www.greatschools.org. We have some great highly ranked districts like Pittsburgh, Penfield, Brighton. They're all wonderful, but do yourself a favor and double check that website. And when it comes to healthcare, we have amazing healthcare. There's Strong Hospital and URMC. It's the University of Rochester Medical Center. They are the only medical academic center in the region, and we also have Rochester General too. So if you're working on healthcare, this is a major area for clinical trials and a great way to find a healthcare job. I've helped several traveling nurses and physicians relocate here for their job. So schools or hospitals, if they're a big part of your move, drop me a comment below. I can always help you pinpoint the right area for what your needs are. Okay, pro tip number 3, 4 real seasons in Rochester. All right, so I know people say this all the time, but in Rochester, we really do have 4 legitimate seasons, and each one has its own vibe. Fall is honestly super magical. The foliage is unreal. The colors are beautiful. People drive from out of town to come to our area and the Finger Lakes area to just see the magnificent trees and colors. You can do leaf tours through places like the Finger Lakes, Letchworth State Park, which if you haven't been to before, is also called the Grand Canyon of the East. I love walking through the Erie Canal along the Pittsford area. And in October, there's crisp air, you can get cider, you can get donuts, and don't forget to stop at the Pittsford Farms Dairy. We've got corn mazes, haunted rides, Oktoberfest, you name it. If you want something in the fall, it is here in Rochester. Okay, and then there's winter. It is cold here, so bring your jacket, your gloves, your scarf, anything warm that you have, because it is downright cold. And we do get a lot of snow. But that also means that you can sled in Mendon Ponds Park. You can go ice skating downtown at the Martin Luther King Jr. Park, or you can even try cross-country skiing at Durand-Eastman. Every year, my neighbors get together and we sit by the fire and we have a little winter outside getaway. It's really nice. But then we start to thaw out and springtime comes, and we just love it as Rochesterians. When spring hits, it's just like this sigh of relief because we know the warmer weather is coming. And the cherry blossoms in Highland Park are just unbelievable, especially during the lilac season. And when Lilac Festival starts, we know that springtime is here. There is over 500 varieties, and if you have ever walked through Highland Park, or if you haven't, you definitely need to when you do get to Rochester. The smell of over 500 different varieties of lilacs is just incredible. So the festival also brings, of course, food, music, so we always love to listen to that. And local artists are selling all their items. It's Rochester's little way of saying, hey everybody, it's lilac season time, we have made it to spring. And that brings us to summer, which is my favorite. I love to be out either near or by the lake. We've got Irondequoit Bay, Lake Ontario, the Genesee River. Rochester has a lot of water surrounding it. But we also have rooftop bars, outdoor concerts at Parcel 5. The farmers markets are basically almost in every single town. Personally, I love to paddleboard on Lake Ontario in the morning because it's nice and calm. As it goes through the day, it does get a little windy and rough, so beware. If you're out on Lake Ontario, it can turn like that. So yeah, if you love seasonal variety, each of our seasons has something for everyone. 4 seasons, 4 totally different ways to experience Rochester. Pro tip number 4 is friendly, walkable neighborhoods. You know that feeling when you are walking around a neighborhood and people are out on their porches, they're walking, they're riding bikes, they're saying hi to you. That is how so many neighborhoods are in Rochester. I did have a couple who actually moved here from Seattle, and after like 2 months, they were already going to neighborhood parties, enjoying cooking with their neighbors. So it's super nice, and people are very, very friendly here. There's just such a strong sense of community, and it's not just a place you live. It's a place where you can connect with your neighbors and your community. So pro tip number 5 is job growth and remote work. So we're no longer, just Eastman Kodak and Xerox, although that was a big part of our history. These days, Rochester is growing fast in technology, healthcare, education, optics, and for remote workers, our city is a dream. That's why, again, so many people moved here during the pandemic because they could work remotely and they didn't have to pay for those expensive apartments in the bigger cities. I have had several clients move here just because they could work anywhere, but Rochester was so affordable. Think about this question. Would you ever move somewhere just because you could work remotely? And if so, where would you move? Put your comment down below. And if it is Rochester, reach out to me. My information is listed below. Okay, so let's get to the cons. The first one, and you already know it, Rochester is in the Northeast. It is weather, weather, weather. We get so much snow and it's cold. So if you don't like the cold, Rochester might not be one of the places for you. You're gonna have to shovel. We're gonna have lots of snowstorms. You're going to hear plows going by. So we average around over 100 inches during the season. It's a lot of shoveling. If you hate winter, this might be a deal breaker. So I had a client who actually did move from a southern state, and they were so excited to see snow. And it is really exciting for the first time, or maybe the first couple times. But after about the 10th time of shoveling their driveway, I think they've had enough. So just bring your shovel, your warm jacket, your scarf, and your gloves. Honestly, you know what? It is fun up until I'd say January. And then after January, we're all just kind of ready for spring to come. And the thing is if you're tired of shoveling, you know what? You go next door and you get your teenage neighbor to shovel for you. So we're at con number 2, and that's taxes. And everyone doesn't want to pay taxes, right? I don't. But they definitely are a thing here. So property taxes in New York are on the higher end, and the Rochester suburbs are no different. So if you're thinking of either Pittsford, Webster, or Rondequoit, whatever suburb it is, I'll go ahead and we will talk about the taxes and how that fits into your budget. But you get what you pay for, right? You got good schools, great roads, community service, and when I work with buyers, I will always help them break down what the tax bill is and what it means monthly. It's not scary once you break it down. So con number 3 is we don't really have a big airport. It's a nice one, and it's about medium size, but if you're looking for a lot of nonstop flights and you're a frequent flyer, maybe for work, you're probably gonna have to connect. Although we just got some nonstop service from Rochester to Nashville and then also Rochester to Vegas, and we do have a couple more as well, but we were excited for those new ones to come around. Okay, so let's talk about our aging infrastructure. You hear so much of that on the news. Some parts of the city are showing their age. We've got some old water lines in the city, which they are going through a current lead service line replacement. So they're doing some work in the city, which is great because they are updating it. And yes, some of the homes have been built before World War I, but this also means character. I love the older homes in particular, but if that one's not for you, we can look for some modern ones as well. I had a client who fell in love with a 1920s Craftsman with original built-ins, hardwood floors. I mean, it was just beautiful. So are you looking for an older home or are you looking for a more modern? Let me know. Shoot me a comment below. Okay, so another big one is crime. Yes, Rochester does show up on some not so nice lists for crime. However, like with any city, there is some problem areas. But here's what people don't realize. Those stats are often based on a few concentrated areas, not the region as a whole. And the city is working on it with community programs. They've got neighborhood programs. And you know what? We do have a lot of local pride. I've had families move here from all over, New York City, LA, Chicago, who actually feel safer here in Rochester. The key is knowing your neighborhoods, and of course, that's where I come in. So if the crime stats stresses you out, don't worry. I will help my clients navigate so that they find the right fit for them. So remember I told you in the beginning to stick around till the end, and I'll share with you a little secret that not a lot of Rochesterians even know. Well, guess what? Rochester used to have a subway system. It opened up back in the 20s and it ran right through downtown. The subway was constructed in the bed of the Erie Canal. That's pretty cool. And the route went right through downtown, which is now Broad Street. Some of the tunnels still exist today. Pretty cool, huh? So what do you think? Could Rochester be your next hometown? So let me know in the comments below what pro and what con stood out for you. Is there a specific neighborhood you're interested in? I look forward to reading your comments and I'm happy to help. So remember, like this video, subscribe for more inside information on Rochester, and hit that bell so you never miss any of my new information videos. I've also got home tours, neighborhood guides, and all sorts of local gem ideas. Thanks again for hanging with me today. I'm Kristen Delves, and if you're moving in 3 days, 3 months, or 3 years, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I would love to see you in the next video.